Okay, it's 3 o'clock. I'll make a motion, call a meeting to order. Attendance, Sue? Here. Martha's here. Do we have a non-public today?
Yeah, Kelly should be up momentarily.
Oh, all right.
That sounds like her.
Make a motion to go into a non-public session per RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2C for tax matters.
Second.
All in favor?
Second. Aye.
Gotta do a roll call on that.
That's right. Sue?
Yes.
Martha, yes.
302.
Okay, I want to, let's see, make a motion to come out of our non-public session and to seal the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
334.
I said 334.
Oh, okay.
What?
Okay, don't think anything else. You have anything, TJ?
Nope, guys, we don't have that many washouts left. You gotta do something with they're going down to granite. They're gonna spend a long time down there. There's a lot that's gonna be fixed. We've been with FEMA three times. I think we're in pretty good shape for both storms. The spring storm, the May storm, we're really close on a total for the county. Ossipee is the highest, obviously, around for that. That pipe down at Granite that washed out is going to have water diversion, box culvert. That's what put our price up there, but they've been working since May 1st every day on just cleaning up from the storm. They're going to continue. The December storm I'm working on now. That one looks promising as well, and hopefully we get some funds to. We're buying a lot of gravel.
Yeah.
A lot.
So do you think that what we had planned for work for this year, we'll be able to do it?
So we're going to do the paving because we kind of got behind last year because remember we didn't do as much last year. We're going to try to continue with the paving. But there's so much stuff that we're going to be behind on, like mowing. I don't dare until we know if we're getting the money to hire anybody else. Tree cutting is a big one that we have a lot of trees that need to come down.
Yeah.
And I don't dare have anyone do it until we see what's going on because, I mean, we're 3/4 of the way through the gravel budget. This, of course, with these storms, it was hard on the overtime, too. And depending on what the fall comes, you know, we're not going to know. It actually even hurt our sewer and water because there was that storm in May, so much water runoff that we spent $12,000 in just pumping out the pits down at the pump station because they were overflowing. We had to hire a company to pump them out and bring them down to Camp David. We do have a pump in there that's pumping enough now, but we've got to talk about that too because there's the 2 new pumps are huge money and we got to see if we can even do it. We did get okayed for the water tank. They are going to seal that. And they're going to do that. But as far as FEMA goes, we're way ahead of the game with what we have prepared for it. And hopefully it pays off. We'll see. But the guys have done a really good job getting everything filled. And we're trying to fix it as we go. I don't know if you've been up Pine Hill and stuff. We tried to put some pipes, do a little mitigation, put some bigger pipes more often, trying to get water across the road. I've been working on some drainage easements on Fogs Ridge so that doesn't ever happen again, hopefully, but there's so much ledge there, it's going to be hard. We'll see if we can divert the water before it gets going down that hill. They've all been busy trying to pretty much washouts, regrading, reshaping the road, because we went around real quick and filled them so people could get over them. But now we're shaping them back up and covering them with 3/4. We were scheduled for tomorrow to try the new Zybon, I believe it's called, which is a mixture that we're pretty excited about, because right now we're paying $1.40 a gallon for calcium for the roads. Well, this dust control is 2 5-gallon pails that we mix with water, and it's supposed to be just as good, and it's only $40 for 1,000 gallons, so it's a huge difference. We're going to be, I think we're the guinea pigs on trying it, but it's worth a try. We're going to do some controlled places like Duncan Lake Road we're going to do, which is a high traffic, and we're going to do half the road Zybon, half the road calcium, and see which one works better. And then we're going to do Isaac Buswell, which gets hardly any traffic, and see how well it stands up.
Yeah, sounds good.
But we were scheduled for tomorrow, but with the rain, I don't want to do it right in the pouring rain, so Allstate's going to come later. And one thing I am working with them on that I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but if it does, I'll try to spearhead it and try to get other towns. So we're going to try to work together as one contract for paving, so we get a lower per ton price in some surrounding towns through that company with our calcium as well. Yeah. And road, like pavement treatment and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. It's just kind of a test, see what's going on, talk to the company and see if it's even worth it. If it is, might move forward with it and work with other towns and do like a 3-year contract or something. But it'd be something to look into. We do it now with some of the stuff we purchase, like delineators. We purchase from other towns around, and we get it at a better price because we buy so many. We get, I think we're down to like $6.90, and we were at like 22 before. So it's a big savings there.
Big savings.
Yeah.
Very good.
But no, other than that, everything's going good. So.
Anything you got, Matt?
Just we're still hoping to get the audit soon. Every year it seems like it takes a little longer than they say it's going to. Andrea and I reached out to them today, and they say it's coming soon. There was an extra section to it this year, because when you get up more than $750,000 federal funds, they have to do something called a single audit, which is for the money we got for the big project. A lot of zoning and health stuff. We've got 8 or 10 active complaints with the town attorney, and a lot of them had deadlines to clean up their junkyards or their household trash outside and so forth that are coming due now. So we're going to start seeing probably our legal bills go up as we actually start to bring these cases to court. Of course, in most cases, we'll place liens that will get reimbursed to the town eventually, but that's why we started that expendable trust fund this year, to have the money to clean the properties up. Also, there's, as you know, housing has been a huge hot button for several years now. There's a meeting next Wednesday for the Mount Washington Valley Housing Coalition. It's up in Conway. I have a feeling none of our land use board members are going to go, but I would be willing to go if you wanted the town to be represented. I'm trying to get our zoning officer to go as well so that we can be part of it. I don't know if he can go or not, but I'm willing to represent the town if you want me to go to Conway for a few hours. And
sounds good.
meet. Okay. And everything else, I guess, we can talk about downstairs.
Susan, anything for you?
I don't have anything.
Oh, one other thing I worked with Andrea last week on that I'm excited about if we get to fruition on it. I've been wanting to be able to very clearly say, what do we have left in ARPA, what do we have left in, like, there was congressional or state directed spending last year. SB 401 was the bill, and it put money into bridge and highway that had to go above and beyond your normal budget. They didn't want it to supplant taxes. It was to supplement, not supplant. So you have to account for them separately as grants. Because municipal budgeting is yearly, you'd have to pull a multi-year report and build a spreadsheet to essentially have all your credits and your debits and show what the net amount available is, which is absurd to me, because normally, like in a household or a business, you would just say, what do I have available in an account? So Andrea and I are trying to work with our software company to develop a way to just simply show an account balance. Their challenge is, again, municipal budgeting isn't done annually, but these are accounts that are similar to like a capital reserve or expendable trust fund to where they would be multi-year. So I think it'd be very nice to be able to sit down with this group and say, these are truly the amounts that we have left, with knowing that there's no human error in there, or just knowing that you can get that at any time without doing a bunch of math. You shouldn't have to do a bunch of math to know what you have available to spend.
Yeah.
I think so. If we get to the end point with that project, I'll be happy.
Okay. I guess at this point we can make a motion to recess until 4:15.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3:43.
Okay, it's 4:15 and we're going to reconvene the meeting from our recess, and I'll ask you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
At this time, we'll open the meeting for public input.
Are we in the Selectmen's meeting?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question, Dallas Emery. I've been asked a few times to ask about the cupola on the roof. Is that going to be fixed? Is that going to be put back up there?
It's going to be fixed. It's not this year.
Okay. I've had like 4 different people ask me about it. They want to make sure that that weather vane goes back up.
I believe it's going to be like a cupola with a clock in it.
But they want the weather vane back up there. Seriously, that's what I've been told. They want the weather vane back up there.
Nothing up there is in very good shape.
I'm just telling you, I'm reporting what.
It had to come down. It was leaking right inside the building, and it was unrepairable. We had a company come look at it, and they said it really needs to be removed until you get time to put it up, so we put the money aside to do it. But as you know, we've had over 100 washouts throughout town, so I think people want to drive more than have that up there, so we're trying to
bring it up because it was brought up to me.
Yep.
And people would like to see it back
Yeah,
up.
it will go back up.
They would definitely like to see the weather vane back up there. Okay. That's all I had.
Anyone else?
All right.
David?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We're back to the Lord Scholarship. I don't know, with my phone calls, it doesn't look like you've done anything since town meeting. You know you were supposed to. Here's a copy of a letter from Mr. Rubenstein, who was a financial manager at UNH. Here's copies from 2017 to 2019 of their financial statement. I'm wrestling with them to try to get this year's. So here's one for you. Last year, Ossipee is supposed to get preference, and one of these sheets shows how much money they got last year in income from the scholarship fund with UNH managing it. And Ossipee got 3 out of 4 students, 3 from one family.
Madam Chair, I can't hear anything he's saying.
And we're supposed to get priority according to the will. Here's a copy of the will. It appears that the selectmen were supposed to, not you weren't here, but they were supposed to appoint person to a selection committee, and the guidance departments were supposed to do the same thing in Carroll County. And Dick Ziegler always did it, and he retired. He never got replaced, and we stopped getting the copies in 2020. And it's appreciated now where it's $2,171,000, and they're only giving out a small fraction of that scholarship. So there's something wrong. There's kids here in possibly wanting to go to college and they can't get the money or can't afford it, and the university is just putting it back in the general fund. I think it's time somebody gets rolling here. We have a one-chance opportunity for the year, and that's gone by.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention again. Anybody else?
Are you accepting public comment on selectmen candidates?
Well, we had that scheduled for the public hearing at the conclusion of this meeting.
Oh, okay.
Probably around 4:30-ish, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rev.
Anything else? Mark?
Mark McConkey. I've been working with my towns on the May 1st storm, and I just want to call out your road agent, TJ Eldridge. His work has just been outstanding, to the point that FEMA is actually having people come over and see how he's accounting for. And it looks like we're getting much closer to that, and just wanted to publicly thank TJ for he's helping all my towns.
Before the meeting, when we got here a little early, we reviewed some of the work he's done, and it's amazing that the time and effort he's put into that for our benefit. We'll greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Mark. Okay, anything else? All right, the Town of Ossipee check voucher totals for the week ending June 19th. Total payroll was $44,030.95. Accounts payable fund was $90,943.16. Water Department dispersed $2,274.49. Sewer Department $94.79. Total fund expended was $137,343.39. Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have the Selectmen's Workshop session minutes for June 5th. I make a motion to approve these.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have the regular scheduled Selectmen's meeting for June 5th minutes. Make a motion to approve these.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have a warrant for the unlicensed dogs. So will go to the Town of Ossipee Police Department. Pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 466:14 entitled Warrants Proceedings, you are hereby directed to proceed forthwith either to collect the fees due to the Town of Ossipee, to be turned over to the town clerk, or seize an unlicensed dog for holding in an appropriate holding facility. I have a letter we received. It was addressed to Matt Sawyer in reference to Constitution Park. I'd like to read that at this time. This is Mary Ann Jackson at the Gibson Center. We've met a couple of times. I'm writing simply to say what an incredible story you have with the Constitution Park that inspires me and so many others. Step by step, engaging volunteers to work with the Town of Ossipee to make this park into the gem it has become. It's a story I tell at every chance I get, to locally and nationally. As a director here at the Gibson Center, I hear from people how much they love the trails and the dog park and adopting them. One woman took her snowblower to the dog park this winter to be sure there was access because she enjoys the company of the other elders she is befriended. I love seeing the welcoming signs go up since I have referred others to the park and they're not sure how to find them. Can't miss it now. I'm very happy to have the Selectmen and any others who are responsible for making it happen, giving permits, making way. I understand that a kind of attitude builds a strong sense of volunteerism and community. Thank you, Mary Ann.
If if I could just take a moment, because we made sure that she knew the real people responsible, which is Edwina Boos and the Friends of Constitution Park, Ossipee group that she organized, were the ringleaders on most of those things that got recognized, of course, with the help of TJ and his guys to install some things. So another accolade for Edwina and crew. Thank you guys for all you do. And Marianne knows who's responsible for all the good work. So.
We'd also like to thank the Garden Club for all of the flowers and the arrangements they've made at our stop signs and throughout town. And also the Ossipee Lake Economic Committee for the new signage that's been put up in town. It's very much appreciated. I have 5 different notice of decisions here from the 4 of them from the zoning board and 2 from the planning board. These notices of decisions are available for review in the Selectmen's office Monday through Friday. I have 6 requests for clerical abatements. Map 29, Lot 1, Sub 33, in the amount of $208. The second one is map 29, lot 1, sub 333, in the amount of $470.80. The next one is map 17, lot 1, sub C11, in the amount of $119.01. The next one is map 29, lot 1, sub E62, in the amount of $534.55. Next one is map 17, lot 14, sub P03, in the amount of $173.47. And the last one is map 16, lot 15, sub 22, in the amount of $391.43. I make a motion that we approve these 6 administrative abatements. Second. All those in favor? Aye. I have a supplemental warrant in the amount of $61. And I make a motion that we approve this supplemental warrant. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. I have another supplemental warrant in the amount of $70. I make a motion we approve this supplemental warrant. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. I have a water and sewer warrant in the amount of $150. And I make a motion we approve this water sewer warrant. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. I have another supplemental warrant in the amount of $208. I make a motion we approve this supplemental warrant. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. That's all I have. TJ, did you have anything?
Just to go off what Mark was talking about, the guys, I want to thank everyone for being patient. Neil and his crew has been fixing washouts and then trying to send the routine maintenance stuff that we're falling behind on, but he's done a really good job. If anyone drove around, the roads aren't terrible. He's trying to get the grader out as much as he can as he's fitting that in for grading roads and doing the little odds and ends that always need to be done that people don't see all the time, like keeping Y Field graded, keeping Constitution Park graded, stuff like that. but they're getting around to them. They've got a lot of them filled, and we're trying to fix it as we go instead of just band-aiding it. He's done a lot of mitigation, adding pipes in different spots that he could to try to prevent it from happening again. We're working with landowners on drainage easements so that maybe we can divert the water before it gets going too fast and washes the roads out for us again. That was a lot of water fast. He's been working quite a bit at the dams. We did have a dam inspection, emergency dam inspection, and there was minor damage to Mill Pond Dam, no damage to the Big Danhole Dam. But that minor damage was documented through FEMA, so we will see what happens. As Mark said, we've been with FEMA 3 times, Homeland Security. They've gone around and they've seen the extent of our work, and if anyone wants to see it, it's all documented in photos. They can see it. All work orders have been processed. Neil's helped me with that to see how much gravel we put out. We've put out a lot of gravel. He's here, I would say, well over 3/4 of our annual budget we put out over of gravel, but we're trying to fill everything with bank run and then topping it with 3/4, trying to keep the cost down, but in some places there's got to be stone and a lot of ditching done. Things that it's going to be hard to do this year are mowing, which needs to be done, but we've got to see what happens with this money before we do that kind of stuff. Tree cutting. I know there's a lot of trees out there that need to be cut. We are contacting Eversource and Co-op, but they're in the same boat. They've spent a lot of money. They got to work in a budget too. So that's the things that he's up against, and people have been very patient so far. So you'll see him out around. They're out every day doing it. So we're getting to the point where he might be able to start doing some routine maintenance stuff now.
Very good. I appreciate that. DJ, Matt.
So tax deeding is going to occur this week. Thankfully, the amount of properties being deeded this year is down dramatically over past years, thanks to the board following the RSAs. People getting the point that they have to pay and do their fair share. So we're down to 3 properties as opposed to a few years ago. We were in the 20 or so range. They will have an opportunity to buy them back. Otherwise, I will work on auctioning through whatever would be the best way. Probably for that few, we'll do a sealed bid process like we have in the past. There's a housing coalition meeting next week that I'm going to attend from Mount Washington Valley. If anybody's interested, I think any representation from the town, whether you're in a formal capacity or not, it would be helpful. The warrant article that was passed at town meeting this year that established an expendable trust fund for property cleanups, we're going to begin to leverage soon. We have 8 or 10 junkyards unpermitted and places that contribute to public health, or it could be considered public health nuisances, are in the hands of our town attorney now, and the deadlines are approaching, or in some cases passed. I think you're going to start to see a difference of these properties get cleaned up, and then eventually the town will be made whole as we go through the legal process to recoup those funds. So I think everybody will be happy that that article passed when they start to see the neighborhoods cleaned up. And that's pretty much it for me.
At this time, I'll open the meeting back up for any public input.
No.
No. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Other than the selectmen's vacancy.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to lose. I just want to pile on to the love-in with TJ and the entire town crew. You've been really remarkable, and particularly with what's going on with the floods and all the repair work you've had to do. You helped us put up a brand new sign for Constitution Park, which is really beautiful. We couldn't have done it without your help. And in very quick and short order, you planted a tree that was donated to us by Whitehorse and Kim Whitefeather in honor of Rick Cogswell. And that tree is there, and we're taking care of it by watering it every day, but bringing water into to the tree. But I just want to thank you again and your crew. You've been really fantastic. Thank you.
One thing to add on what she said, Matt, myself, Neil, and actually Chris were at Constitution Park today, and something they can all attest to, it's a Monday afternoon, and that place there was 6, 7 cars there. They were playing disc golf. So that's thanks to you guys, because they really were using it a lot. So people are using it during the week, so they must be really using it on the weekends. So.
Okay, if there's no more public input, I make a motion to adjourn this regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
And you want to announce about the next meeting?
Yeah. And at this time, we will be opening up our public hearing to take
Next
any...
meeting.
Do you want to talk about Tuesday, other than the public hearing, the next Selectmen's meeting?
Oh, sorry,
That's okay.
right. Our next meeting will be held on July 27th at 3 o'clock. That's a Tuesday. Why we're moving it to Tuesday for that week only is the town of Ossipee, Matt, TJ, John Smith, and Bruce Stewart will be attending the Lakes Region annual meeting. They will be receiving an award for the excellent work that they've done on the town's zoning ordinance. So we won't meet next Monday. We will be meeting on Tuesday at the same time.
And thank you, State Rep McConkey, for the nomination.
You mean June 27th or July 27th? I think you said July.
June 20. Right, it's June 27th. Thank you very much. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, and at this time we'll open up our public hearing for any open discussion regarding the vacancy for the Board of Selectmen. We'll take any input.
Now?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm State Representative Glenn Cordelli. This is my first year representing Ossipee. During this year and the past several years, I've gotten to know former Selectman and State Representative Jonathan Smith. He actually sits right behind me in the State House, and I must say he looks over my shoulder to make sure I'm voting the right way. But he is a diligent and consistent state representative. I'm sure as a selectman also. He's always at meetings. His attendance is fantastic. I also know him because state representatives have a second responsibility, and that is at the county level. We are basically part of what's called the delegation and responsible primarily for the county budget. And he is very active and well-spoken at delegation meetings and working on the budget on various committees. I've also had a chance to talk to him recently. I was on a county search committee for a new IT administrator, and so I've talked to him about his work here, and I know he's been involved in various software upgrades for various systems here in the town, and also on the security side of things for the town. So I unequivocally recommend that the selectmen consider Jonathan Smith as replacement for the open position.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Chris Elliott. I have a lot of respect for what Representative Cordelli had to say, but I'd like to offer a different perspective. And I think, to me, there's some optics here that I think we need to be very careful of. Number one, at the election, and I have a lot of respect for Jonathan too. I really do. I think he did a great job as selectman, and I frankly was sort of surprised that he didn't win, but he did not win. Somebody else had more votes than he did, so he did not win in that election, and it wasn't, he lost by many votes. I also think you need to be very careful with the situation that's happened here and why someone had to leave. The optics of suddenly putting somebody else who lost back in, his opponent, looks a little fishy. The optics of it do not look good. And one could argue, we're into conspiracy theories these days, that there was a little bit of conspiracy to have the other individual leave so that this Jonathan Smith could come back in. Jonathan will have his chance to run again in next March. And I just think, again, you need to be very careful about this assignment. And again, I respect what you said to say. Again, I think Jonathan's a great man, but I think we need to be careful here on the optics of the situation. Thank you.
I guess I can disagree with that gentleman. My name's Rich Gladue. I live on Hampton Road. I'm currently working with Jonathan on one of those cleanups on my border of my property. He's very informative. He's given me information all the way through, because I have no idea how it works. But he's been right on cue. He calls me all the time. He lets me know where the process is going. He told me about that it's in the courts right now, and when it comes through, they're going to clean up and they're going to take care of the mess that these people have made on my property. I know Jonathan's an honest man. He's got a lot of integrity. I don't know much about what he's done as a selectman, but I know he makes a really good code officer, and I just want to put my word in for that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to follow up. My name is Mark Swenson, resident of Ossipee, and to your point, there was an election that took place, a couple of months ago. If I remember that day, it was snowing like crazy. We live up on a hill. Could not get here. Seemed to be, quite frankly, an unfair election to me because so few people showed up, and it was obviously weighted in one direction. Not sure why that was. But I have respected Jonathan's work at the town for the last however many years he has been here. He's done a tremendous job. I think his record is clear in terms of what he's done for the town. And Rich, speaking to his character, Jonathan, I've known Jonathan long before he was involved in the town, and Jonathan is true through and through. He's a person of integrity, person of character, person of moral courage. He's going to get the job done. And I think what he has done has been tremendous for this town, and I'd like to see that continue. I'd like to see him sitting back on one of these seats as selectman. So, go ahead.
My name is Zhenya Gladue, and I'm resident of Ossipee. And follow up with Mark, yes, it was storms that day, and I get stuck at work and I could not make it to vote. So I'm here because I feel like my not be presented on vote that time. I cannot give my vote that time due to bad weather. So I'm here to cast my vote to Jonathan Smith. So if you're saying he lost, I feel bad because that time I didn't show up for vote due to bad weather. And I was hoping it would be postponed to better day, but yeah, back roads and being at work and try to get it on time, I didn't make it. So,
if I could respond to that, yes, it was bad weather, and I fully agree that, like other towns did, perhaps the election should have been postponed, but it was held. And the other candidate would also argue that other people didn't come and vote for him. So to say bad weather is the reason we suddenly should now put Jonathan back on the Selectmen's board, I don't think that's a fair assessment. It was an election. He lost by 40 votes. It wasn't like it was a cliffhanger, so there were 40 votes. And again, I have a lot of respect for Jonathan, and what you're saying is exactly true. I agree with it. But I just think if I was the individual who's left his board and he takes a look and sees what this has happened here, it doesn't look good. It really does not look good. It looks like he was stacked against him, and I think the town made the right decision in asking him to resign. I really do think that was the right decision. But I think, again, we have another election in March. In fact, we'll have 2 spots that are up for election. Is that correct? Okay. So I think until that time, I think Jonathan has a right to run again. But I just think, again, as I said before, the optics on this does not look good. That you suddenly are going to put him back on the board after he did lose the election. Bad weather or good weather.
So I'm a little bit confused. The procedure here. Do we know if Jonathan Smith has even put his name on or asked to be nominated to this position or recommended or whatever?
He made his position clear in the paper that he wasn't going to seek it, but if it was offered to him, he would accept it. I believe his name's quote.
Okay, well, I don't go by the newspapers. I'm just wondering what the procedure is. How many people has there been any interest? And how many people have put their names in, I guess, is what I'd like to know.
I've had one email from Mr. Meter, who I think I saw, and that would be the only one I've received. I did receive 2 for people that wanted to see Jonathan back who couldn't be here tonight, and one similar call for him today. But as far as self-nomination or other nominations, the one I'd received from Mr. Meter was the only one.
So were you accepting nominations or letters of people who wanted to be interested? And what you're saying is there's really only one who sent it in, and then there's recommendations for other people.
So all the public notices and every publication, every method included solicitation to send me or send the town their letters of interest or recommendation or nomination, and no one has done that other than that.
Okay, but so Mr. Meter is the only person who has sent a letter and saying he would like to be considered.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I'd like to consider him then, because I don't even know me. But he certainly took the time to put his name in, so I hope that he's considered as well.
I actually received 2. One was a phone call from a gentleman that showed an interest that he wouldn't mind serving. And I also had a gentleman stop into my house and said he would like to be considered. So there's 2 other ones.
Okay, so, yeah, can you give us names? I mean,
one was Joe Deegan, and the other one was Harry Merrill. Yes. Dallas?
Yes, Mark, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I would say that that's not true, Matt. The night that the resignation happened, I was nominated by Greg Howard right here in front of this building to your face, and you said we'll take that under consideration.
That's true. You're here tonight to speak on your own behalf. I don't know.
But you just told these people that nobody else had come in, and that's not true.
You said no one else wrote in.
Yeah, I didn't receive any other.
Well, you received a nomination though.
Can I speak again? I guess my feeling is John knows the town better than I would say any of us here, inside and out. I mean, he has just done a very thorough job of getting to know all of the different parts of what goes on in the town. We're 6 months into the cycle, or 4 months into the cycle, I guess, and it just seems that for the sake of consistency, it would make sense to have him come back into this position. I think he has a really strong track record. He's done well. So,
my question is, what is the current process right now? So you boot somebody out. So what happens next? Do you people decide? Okay, so whatever we say doesn't make a hill of beans.
Well, we thought it was only fair to ask the public to be part of the process.
Which is fine. Your mind's already made up, correct? About who you want in there.
No, I plan to consider what's been given to us.
I see.
Suggestions all the days.
I understand. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Myself personally, I would like to see a new town election where the people have the say. Nothing against the selectmen, but have the people vote on it to see who they'd like. That's all I would like to do.
I knew that was coming because you said that upstairs, so I printed off the RSA for you, Frank, where that's not the process in the state of New Hampshire. It is.
But it can't be done?
No, it's right here. 669:63. The selectmen vacancies in the board of selectmen shall be filled by appointment made by the remaining selectmen.
Okay, that's all.
I would have said that last time had I known, but it was brought to my attention after.
Fine.
Well, the second part is I'd like to nominate Dallas here, Emery. I think he'd be good. He's on a lot of the boards in the town. He knows all about the town. And he's an honest person, which is good. That's my feeling.
Hi, Brian Keys, Senator Ossipee. Frank brought up a good point. I mean, Jonathan, having served them on the budget committee, I don't really know if I know another individual that understands municipal law and local government regulation as much as he does. notwithstanding the fact he returned over $1 million to the town in back taxes that were delinquent. You know, his whole life has been dedicated to public service, so you won't find many that understand municipal government better. And for that, I would argue that he would be our best candidate. And it is refreshing to see folks like Don Meter and other people stepping up. But the reality of it is, where the rubber hits the road, Jonathan has really been around the block here. So, thank you.
Dave Babson, and I have a different concern, Madam Chairman. I think it has the appearance of a conflict of interest when your Board of Selectmen, or one of them, is the building code inspector. I don't mind if John is appointed, but I would hope he'd step down as code enforcement officer. It just has the appearance of a potential conflict.
Thank you, Dave. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Lynn Clark. I live in Center Ossipee. I've been a resident for over 20 years. And I was interested in learning more about the position. I served on the Conservation Commission and the Zoning Board for several years. And Dave, I haven't seen you for so long. How are you? And I didn't really know the process either. I saw on the website that people could send in letters, but they could also attend the meeting tonight if they were interested, from my understanding. I did leave a message with you, Matt, and I don't know what your schedule was, but hadn't heard back from you because I was trying to find out more about, minutes from the last meetings and what this whole vote entails. And is it just one vote, like for whatever is coming up at the gas station, or what is going on with all that?
I do recall a message about the aquifer, I think. Is that what you're asking about? The gas station aquifer?
No, that wasn't me.
You said the gas station
Right,
now,
is that
right?
for this position? Like, how long is this supposed to be happening for? For the rest of, until next March?
March, yeah.
Yeah, until the next vote?
Yeah.
I agree with Dave. I think it's a conflict of interest with having two positions, so I just want to mention that. And so, that's my 2 cents.
Yes. I have to say that I called you, Matt, about a young man who sat in the seat at the last... is he here?
Brian Hayes?
Brian. Yeah. Okay. I recommended him because I thought he was well-spoken. He's young. He's interested in the town and has children, so therefore is interested in education, I believe. And I don't really know him, but I dropped that I would like to meet him. He actually called me back, said he was interested, and I will speak highly of this young man who at least had the manners to call someone back when they were interested, and I would nominate him, as I did when I made a phone call to you.
Anybody else?
Well, if anybody doesn't know me, I'm Don Meter. I've been in this town quite a while. I've served on the school board for 26 years and town moderator for 10 years. I hear a lot of talk about knowing how the town operates and what the responsibilities of selectmen should be or is, in fact. And I haven't served as a selectman, but I've known a lot of them. And I'm not new to this town. I made an offer to help the town out during this period when they would have a vacant seat. I did also state that I would not be seeking election come spring. I winter in Florida. I'm back and forth like I was with the school board. I had to come back frequently, which is okay, except I like the sun. So. But it looks to me like, as I heard previously, that this is kind of slanted in one direction, and which is fine. I don't have any objection in either being considered, not considered, whatever. I just offered to help out because I am here in the summer and fall, and I'm pretty well established here. I'm not saying everybody here eats pizza, but TJ was looking forward to me getting a seat on the board so that he could
we don't have to pay for it.
get a great message. But anyway, that's my feeling about it. I know you ladies that are on the board currently, most of you, most of our lives. So, but if I can help, I'd be glad to. And I won't offer anything else, and I don't think anybody's going to sit here and recommend me. But well, maybe this young lady. But anyway, that's where I'm coming from, and if I can help, I would be glad to. But it only, as I've stated, I would only be interested through until the coming elections. Because I don't think it's fair to be on a board and not at board meetings and handling the functions of the town, or in my case, years ago, on the school board. So anyway, that's all I have to say, and good luck to you. Yep.
Anybody else? Yep. Hi, so Kate, Center, Ossipee. I'm wondering if those people that were nominated, how many of them would actually wish to the job? So, Brian, would you?
Put me on the spot.
I did, but I think it's time that people kind of declare.
Sure. Brian Ames, Center Ossipee. I had a wonderful conversation with Pat, and if you had asked me a month ago, I would have been, jumping right on board the bandwagon of learning more and trying to do more for the town. My career has taken a different path recently, so I'm going to be very engaged professionally for quite a while. I wouldn't be able to.
Oh, see, I think that's important.
Thank you. I would say, though, that John Smith is an excellent choice, and I think that the town would be benefited greatly by having him back on the board. I really do. Optics or not. The other nominations that are presented here today received 0 votes in that election. John received more than that, so thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to, if there's anybody else that was like Dallas, would you?
Oh, I would take it, definitely. My only concern is that I tend to say things that, you might get you upset a little bit every once in a while. That'd be my only concern. But I'm usually pretty good, I know, but I think I could handle this. I'm here all the time. I pretty much know what's going on. Once again, I don't know what goes on in the 91A meetings. That's all stuff that you have to make decisions on, which I'm not part of. So, but I think I could do this. And I'm sure I know quite a few people in town that would probably be okay with it. Not everybody, but
So, Ryan Keys, Center Ossipee still. For the record, I'd like to nominate Jonathan Smith based on his energy and ability to serve the town in the best manner. Thanks.
Any more input? Questions, ideas, whatever?
I have one more question. So when you get all of this information together, how long before you guys make a decision?
Well, we discussed it shortly with this meeting that we're not going to have next Monday.
Right.
Scheduled for Tuesday. We figured we would take the input that we received this week and hopefully have a decision at that next meeting next Tuesday. That's the plan.
I was just wondering how long is it there?
One other question. Would it benefit you to have someone, another person on the board between now and March?
Oh, very much. Very much.
You say that it benefit the board to have, a third person, but like, what would the benefit be? Is it each selectman has a certain group of committees, or how do you divide the workload?
Well, my first reason we need the third person, and it's probably a little personal on my side, but I found out this week I'm going to have some surgery done. If I'm out of commission, that Sue couldn't operate alone. We do need another person on board. We do anyway. Should have 3. Okay. Being no further input, I'll make a motion to adjourn this public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4:59.